All right, y'all. I want to talk about something that's on the ballot for tomorrow. I've seen a couple, threads online, and I've had a couple conversations about it, and we're talking about the federal minimum wage. I think right now minimum wage is at $8.50, and what's on the ballot is an increase to $15 an hour by the year 2026. Like next year it'll go to 10, and then each year it'll go up a dollar until it's at 15 in 2026. But a lot of times the argument for it is people say that you can't support a lifestyle on minimum wage right now, on where it is currently. But that's not what the minimum wage is for. It's not meant to just support your lifestyle. Everybody has different lifestyles. You have minimalists, you have people who live beyond their means. That's kind of how it is. The minimum wage is associated with a specific type of job, and that's a job that requires no skills. And so if you're entering the workforce, when I was in high school and I started working, minimum wage was like $5.15 an hour. It was somewhere down there. It wasn't anything big. And I wasn't trying to support a family on it, but that's what it was. I didn't have any skills. I was going to work at Dairy Queen, ice cream, hamburgers, hot dogs, that kind of thing. It doesn't require skills. It didn't require schooling, anything like that. You don't even have to graduate high school for a job like that. But a job that requires no skills pays a minimum amount. And the natural order of things, if you want to get paid more, you bring more to the table, for the company. When I went to school, I got a business degree. I got out one of the first jobs that I had. I was in an accounting department. I was getting paid $12.50 an hour. I was happy. It wasn't minimum wage. I brought a little bit more to the table, and I was getting paid more than minimum wage. 4 or 5 years later, by the time I left that company, I was making $16 an hour. I had taken more responsibility. My job had shifted a little bit, and I earned increases. And so, that's how it goes. You don't just sit in one spot. Like, who wants to be a career burger flipper? Because that's a minimum wage job. It requires no skills. In order to get a minimum wage job, all you have to do is show up on time and have the ability to work. That's literally on an application. If you got this job, do you have reliable transportation to get you here? And are you able to work? That's a minimum wage job. Requires no skills. I was reading through a thread on a conversation, and someone brought up vet clinics, and they said that someone trying to draw blood off of an animal and while at the same time not getting bit in the face should not be earning less than $15 an hour. And that's understandable. But then they go on to say, at a veterinary office, like a kennel handler can be getting paid $9 an hour. That's a minimum wage job. Requires no skills. You're cleaning up kennels. And then they said a vet tech or a vet assistant could be making between 11 to 14. If they're just starting out or if they have experience. Well, a vet tech and a vet assistant, they may have had to go get a certificate, had to go get some schooling. Now, look, they bring more skills to the table. So they're getting paid more. They're not earning minimum wage. They're getting paid more. $3, $4, $5 more than a kennel handler because they bring two different things to the table. The person said that just because you have a degree, it doesn't make you any better than somebody else. Well, it kind of does, because you're bringing some skills. Well, depending on what kind of degree you got, because if you've got a degree in 15th century Russian literature, I don't really know what that brings to the table in terms of at a veterinary office. If it's specialized, you have something that the vet clinic can utilize, then you're earning more, and they were earning more. But now when you think about that, if you're voting for this, now the kennel handler gets pay increase and they're making $15 an hour. Well, what happens to the person that was making $13, $14 an hour? You think they're going to get bumped from $13, $14 up to $19? Or are they just going to get bumped to $15? Because now what this vote is doing, it's making anybody who's earning less than $15 an hour, it's making all of them a minimum wage earner. So somebody who doesn't have any skills is now getting paid $15 an hour. Or somebody who went out and acquired more skills, now they're getting paid 15. So you have these two people doing two different jobs. So this person who went out and got more skills, because now at the veterinary office, say you had two kennel handlers, you were paying them $9 each. So you had two people that were working, keeping the area clean. You know, your operating cost for just that was $18 an hour. Well, now you have to pay them $15. So now that goes from $18 to $30 an hour. Are you going to keep both kennel handlers so that you can maintain the pricing that your customers are used to? You know, overstress the one that's left. It's probably what's going to happen. Vet techs. Are those people going to go and get certificates? Are they going to go to schooling just to make the same as a kennel handler? Because the owner, the vet that owns the office, you know, are they going to be able to pay more for a tech or an assistant? Because now they have to pay the kennel handler $15 an hour. What's going to entice people to better themselves and bring more to the table if they're going to get paid as somebody who didn't do anything? Therein lies the rub. You know, I don't think that's what people are thinking about. And I had a conversation with my brother. He has people that work in their warehouse. They're making $11 an hour. And I told him, I was like, well, that's not minimum wage. Minimum wage is like $8.50 right now. And he's like, oh, well, I'm so far out of it. He's like, I voted for you. I don't see how. And I said, what happens, you know, when they're going from $11 to $15? That's $4 an hour across how many warehouse employees y'all have. What are you going to do? That operating cost just increased so much. What are y'all going to do? And he's like, well, we'll increase our prices. Well, we're in Tampa, Florida. Cost of living is a little bit higher down here. We may be able to sustain that living down here to pay for the services that they provide because they're specialized. But what about places, rural Midwest, you know, population 3,000, not 2 million? What about those places? Now that they have to pay their employees $15 an hour. Everybody keeps saying that the cost of goods and services is already going up. But you can go to New York City and order a meal there and pay twice as much as a meal in a rural area of the United States. And that's because the cost of living is so drastically different. But now these people voting in New York City are affecting the lives of rural America. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I just don't think that people are really, everybody just thinks about their own. I don't think people are thinking about that, thinking about how it's going to affect other people. And then of course, you know, hey, get paid more. Of course I'll vote yes, I'll get paid more. But what's going to entice people to go out and better themselves when all you have to do is show up and make $15 an hour? All you have to do is just show up. What's going to entice people? Because people want to better themselves so that they can make more and earn more. But when companies, now they just don't have the money to shift and play around with, because now they have to pay the low rung on the ladder almost twice as much as they were paying them. You know, where do you put your money? What are people going to do? And it's just, honestly, I just think it's something to think about. I don't think the cost of goods and services is going to go up at the same rate as what we're trying to make the minimum wage. So I don't think that's a valid argument. Trying to say you can't support, you know, a family or a life on minimum wage, it's not what those jobs are for.